Welcome to episode 238 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent and Jason here, and this week we've got two of the members of Violent Victim joining us.
Yes, we do. This is a good one, man.
Yeah.
It felt good to get back into some local shit, some good shit. We had a good conversation with these guys.
Yeah. It's long overdue, so glad it finally happened. Before we get into that, as always, we're sponsored by MedFarm and DEB Concerts. MedFarm is a dispensary located in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma at 24683 East Highway 51. We're just about a quarter mile past Oneida Road. They're on the east. If you're going east on 51, you won't miss them out there. They've got a huge selection. Open Monday through Sunday, and I think Monday through Saturday they're open till 10 p.m. now, which is great.
Hell yeah.
So get over there, check them out. Check out that huge selection. Tell them Thunder Underground sent you, and they'll give you 10% off your order, which is a awesome thing. They're always running other specials as well. If you follow them on Facebook or Instagram, you won't miss those. At MedFarmOK on Instagram, and the website's medfarmok.com. And Facebook, just look up MedFarm, that's PHARM. Give them a follow and a like. And they've got a doctor on site every Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and 30% of their proceeds are going to help build no-kill animal shelters, which is really badass. And they are getting closer. Like we talked about last week, they've got land and a building purchased. They're just working on getting the funds now to get it set up. So if you go in there and buy yourself something, just know that a third of that profit is going to help do this. So that's even a better reason to go there than anywhere else.
Love it.
Hell yeah. So get in there, check them out, tell them we sent you. Also, DEB Concerts is a promoter located right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They keep bringing in some excellent music. It's the ideal ballroom like Saxon, Sebastian Bach, Warrant, Beasto Blanco, Steelheart, Great White, Lita Ford, LA Guns. The list is pretty long. Last in line just recently.
Yeah.
And this coming, where are we at now? About a week. Is it a week? Only a week and a half now. We've got Vixen and the Iron Maidens coming into the Ideal Ballroom on November 23rd. It's a Saturday night, so it's a perfect time to get out there for some great rock and roll. You know what you're going to get with Vixen, and with Iron Maidens, you're going to get a set full of all the classic Iron Maiden tunes.
Oh, totally.
I've looked at their set list. They cover all eras. They even do Fear the Dark, all kinds of great shit.
I don't want to know. I want it to be a surprise.
Well, I'm sure you know that you're going to get.
Well, the classics, the stalwarts, if you will.
Right.
But if there's any, deep ones in there, I don't want to know. I want to be surprised.
Okay, so. Gotcha. Down for Five will be opening up this bill. They're an excellent band as well. So if you want to go to the show, which you should, you need to contact Down for Five. Get your tickets from them because you save a few bucks. There's no service fees when you do it that way. But you can also buy them at the door. So you have no excuse to not be out there. Eddie Trunk will be hosting this show. And it's at the Ideal Ballroom in downtown Tulsa. A great place to see a show. We love it. And on top of all that, D&B Concerts also promotes, books a stage out at Rocklahoma called the D&B Processing Stage. So get on their Facebook and follow them. You can find out how to email them your EPK to get yourself on Rocklahoma. They book 4 days worth out there.
Yep.
Thursday the pre-party, and then all three of the main days as well. So you've got some chances to get on there.
Yeah, definitely got to get on that.
Yeah. So look into that if you've got a band, and look forward to this show. And we'll have more coming, I'm sure, from DEB Concerts.
Of course.
All right. Before we get into some talk and a brand new single from Violent Victim, we're going to play another band.
Let's do it.
We're going to play a band right now out of Portugal.
Because we're international motherfuckers.
That's right. We don't, maybe once every month or two we get a band out here from out of country, so it's always cool. And very glad to be able to play this one. This is a band called Nowhere to Be Found. This is called The Prey. Prey from Nowhere to Be Found. Like we said, straight out of Portugal.
Exactly. And, you know, like you said, if it's from overseas, the farther away, the better. Usually we're going to play it. I mean, but this just works out even better because we dug it.
Yeah.
So
you're saying a lot of stuff we don't dig?
No.
Is that what you're implying?
You know what? Don't paint me in that corner. Okay. You know what I meant, and everybody knows what I meant. So let's just go with it. This is a great song.
Yeah. Really cool.
And then, you know, on the side, fuck you. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I love that. It had that kind of Maylene and the Sons of Disaster vibe to it.
Yeah, totally.
I always love those kind of bands. So,
and with me, you know me, it was new and modern sounding, but not douchey. So I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Big time. So yeah, it was a win-win to play it. It really was.
Yeah, look them up on Facebook and give them a follow. They're also on Reverb Nation. You can find this song and their other music pretty much anywhere you can find music. You know, Spotify, iTunes, all that great stuff. They've got a video out for it as well. So look that up and tell them we sent you. I mean, we got a pretty good length talk here with Brax and Jimmy.
We do.
But before we get into that, I mean, there's a few.
Yeah.
Were we going to talk about a few things that came out, or what?
I think we should. Yeah. One, because there was a lot of different shit that, like, I don't know why. I mean, there's one or two good full records that came out this past Friday, but a lot of bands dropped some singles.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we should kind of just spend a couple minutes on.
Seems like when you get towards the end of the year, though, that slows down some. But
yeah, for some reason.
There was a plethora of singles that came out this past week.
And I also want to say, because I want to mention now, because I don't want to take from our wonderful sponsor, DEB Concerts, but also on November 23rd, local band Stellar Ascent is playing the Shrine.
Right.
And we love them. We've played them on the podcast. And, so we're going to try to kind of shuffle that around and maybe go see. We're going to try to cram all that in between the two of us. And I think that's important. So yeah, it's going to be November 23rd will be a fun, busy evening for us.
That's right.
That's for sure. So, but you know, as far as you had Ozzy drop a single this past Friday, King Diamond, Kirk Windstein from Crowbar, because he's got a new solo record coming up. Sepultura. Jesus, I know I'm forgetting something.
The Night Flight Orchestra.
Night Flight Orchestra. Yeah, fuck. I didn't even hear that yet. See? You get all these bands that are doing this. And
the Josta with
the Josta
Matt
singles.
Heafy.
Yeah, Matt Heafy. Which, that's a great song. It's called The Contagion Is You.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And then you got Agnostic Front dropped their whole album.
Yeah.
Which is fucking a hardcore just masterpiece straight away. So, I mean, what's jumping out at you? What do you think?
That's a good question. The Night Flight, you said you didn't hear it, just real quick. That it was just an instrumental thing, which is kind of odd because I don't think they've done that yet. But it was cool. It just sounded like 80s soundtrack music.
Yeah, I gotta go hear it. When we get done with this, I'm gonna go listen to it.
I'd be interested to find out like what the story is, like when the next album's coming, because they released the single Satellite, which was great. Back in the summer. It's been like 5 months ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the story is there, but I mean, obviously the biggest one was Ozzy, the one that made the news and stuff.
Yep.
And I don't know. I mean, it was fine. I liked it, but
I've held back on talking to you about this because I want to talk about it on record. So.
Right. I've seen people saying they love it. I've seen people saying they hate the guitar sound and all this. Like, see, here's my thing with the guitar sound for Ozzy is I expected nothing. I didn't even know who it was. Who was doing it until it came out. I didn't know Andrew Watt. I don't even know if it was announced. Maybe no one knew. But we did that Ozzy every album in a row. And when I went back and revisited those albums like Scream and Black Rain and stuff that I kind of blew off.
Yeah.
You know, I like stuff on them, but still I don't. Black Rain, I didn't care for the guitar sound, and it's one of my favorite guitarists because it was Zakk Wylde sounding like fucking Black Label Society with Ozzy singing.
Exactly. And, you know, and I'm not trying to take away from your take on it, but you know, I posted that, like John Stowe, a couple other guys replied to me and said that exact thing.
Oh yeah.
About, you know, this doesn't need to be a Black Label Society record.
Yeah. Just
because Zakk is on it.
Right.
And I mean, I agree with that. That's that's it right there.
But then he had Gus G, who's an amazing guitarist, and nothing of that like stood out to me as being as great as anything with Zach or Jake E. Lee or Randy Rhoads, obviously. Yeah. But so to me, as crazy as this sounds, it didn't really matter who the guitarist was. Because
I get that in a way.
I didn't have low expectations. I just had no expectations from a new Ozzy song.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if I ever hear Let Me Hear You Scream or whatever it's called, or, I Don't Want to Stop or any of those songs. I don't care if I ever hear them again. Yeah. It's not like they're bad. They just don't do anything for me the way Mr. Tinker Train or whatever does, where it makes you fucking like, yes. So, with that being said, it was cool. The chorus was cool. I liked that it wasn't as generic as I Don't Want to Stop. That's what I was expecting this to be.
Yeah.
I liked that it had a little bit of something to it. And, Andrew Watts, obviously he played that guitar like an Ozzy sound, but what we know of him is that he played California Breed, which was totally different.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the guy's like totally versatile.
Yeah, and, okay, here's the thing. And you can't bash me for this because we all know it, even though we all might not want to say it, and you just touched on it. Everything after Osmosis has just been, it's like filler.
Yeah.
And I don't know whose fault that is. Whatever, Ozzy, Zach, whoever's writing, whoever's producing, I don't know, Churko, whatever, I don't know whose fault it is. But this is, but it doesn't matter because it's Ozzy. So anytime there's some new stuff, I'm going to go, okay, I got to listen. It's Ozzy.
Right.
And I'm kind of like you. I'm like, okay, what's this going to be? Jesus fuck. What are we getting into here? What's the score here? Same time. I don't know you. What's going on?
Yeah.
You can tread slowly. And so this was, and like I told you, I read, Andrew Watt, you got Duff McKagan on bass, Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers on drums. And it was fresh. It touched on a retro thing. It touched on a Sabbathy thing without getting, monotonous, without getting just too cavemanish. Like the whole, if you're a guitar player out there, the down-tuned 0356 and back down and up, which a lot of Ozzy stuff became or whatever. I don't know. But, and then the fucking hook, dude, that's where it's at. Because whether I liked it or not, I've been singing it in my fucking head all weekend. That hook.
Yeah.
And so there you go. And that says something right there. It sticks to your brain.
Yeah.
So, I'm, I can say now I'm excited to hear this whole record, and I haven't said that about an Ozzy record since Osmosis.
Right. And the fact that he got two guys in this band that are obviously established in different areas than what Ozzy usually sounds like, and they're both extremely good at what they do. And
exactly.
that probably lends to what you're thinking. What you said, it's fresh and it gives me more. I want to listen to this album more because of the rhythm section now than I do.
You're goddamn right.
The fact
that's
that
exactly
it's Ozzy Osbourne.
That's it, dude. Yeah. And so that's why I think, we did an every album in a row. I think when this record comes out, we should do a whole thing on it, do a YouTube video, whatever.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to where this is going.
And it's not that far off. It's January, I think, is when they said it's coming out, right?
Yeah, January, yeah.
At least we don't have to feel pressure to put it on our top list of 2019.
Yeah, that's right. Jesus, we were just going to do like a few minutes on all the singles. We just did like 5 minutes on Ozzy. Fuck us. But the Kirk Windstein single is great. That's like, for me, that's the next one I'd go to that I really liked.
Yeah.
Dream in Motion, is that what it's called? Forgive me? Okay. I
Which
love
is
his
cool.
voice, the riff. There's a melody to it.
It's cool because it's heavy. It's really heavy, but it still doesn't sound like Crowbar.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is exactly what you would hope.
You would, yeah.
Because what's the point of him doing a solo album if it sounds like Crowbar?
Yeah. And then Isolation by Sepultura, they dropped that.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And I haven't heard any really good fucking Derek Green Sepultura since Alex or whatever.
Oh, yeah?
since Alex, whatever the fuck that record's called. I don't know.
I never knew exactly.
But I really dug that record. But ever since then, I'm like, I don't know. But this is a really cool song. So you hadn't heard the King Diamond song.
No, I forgot to list it.
Masquerade and Madness, Masquerade of Madness. We're just going over these real quick, if we can't remember, whatever, fuck off. But, his voice for, his age and going through heart surgery, his voice is powerful as shit.
Yeah.
That his gruff vocal and then his falsetto, he can still pull it off. And there's some great twin guitars going in that song.
Hey, they're back. He's
Right
back.
on.
I mean, they're on their tour right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's badass. Another one that put out a single was Mustache.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, called Before a Grave. It's another song with Grave in the title, and it's a little better than Ozzy's. I won't.
Okay, I got two things to check out now when I get back here to my patio.
Yeah.
Thank you, Trent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, we should talk. Well, maybe on the next one, we should talk more about the Agnostic Front just in a whole.
Yes, because that's a whole nother record.
Because I've only listened to it once straight through, so I don't really
listen to it a few more times and we'll talk about it. I'm okay with that. But it's a great record.
Yeah.
And I got a cassette.
Yeah.
1 of 100. I'm a nerd.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yep.
That makes it even that much cooler.
Right?
All right, so Violent Victim is here, but not only that, their debut single is being officially released this Friday, November 15th. But you're about to hear it now, right now, for the first time. It's being world premiered right here. So if you like this, you just listen to this podcast over and over till Friday.
Please.
Yeah, so you can hear this song as many times as you want. But let's just get into it. This is the brand new song from Violent Victim called Before Creation.
So sad before us.
Before Creation, brand new single from Violent Victim. That song is 5 minutes and 40 seconds of just
pure whoop ass.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I mean, I don't know. I need to take a breather after I hear that song.
Right.
I need to sit down.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, there's a ton going on, but it's in a good way and it all works.
Yeah, I applaud that so much. I mean, one, that they can retain all that shit in their brains. And two, when you have a lot of shit like that going on and it doesn't sound
like the shit's just going on for the sake of it going on.
Yeah.
Or just
they pulled that off. Yeah, beautifully. And you're about to hear our conversation with Brax and Jimmy. It was really great. You know, these guys are great. They own their shit. They know they kick ass, but they're also humble and you know, open at the same time. It was so cool to have them over and talk this stuff out.
Yeah, definitely. So let's just hear it. Let's get into it. And here's Jimmy and Brax from Violent Victim.
Right, they pull the drum riser off the stage and set it right in the middle of the subwoofers, so you don't have any monitors because you have the house sound coming at you. That's all.
Yeah, you hear it as it's coming out.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
The drummer, I think, might have a monitor. They put that monitor right behind him.
Okay.
And then they drop a curtain, so it looks like there's just no stage. You do all your pre-staging up on split the curtain, pull your drum set down, take the other one out, just come straight off the stage into the.
It's just a way for them to save money. You know what I mean? Because Simon really...
Well, it's not save money. It's still the same
Simon
staff.
really, he has a quota that they have to meet in ticket sales and things like that for them to even open the doors a lot of times. And like last time when Omni Zero canceled their release show and I was still trying to get the show going. Yeah, he was like, dude, unless you can, you know, make like $400 in ticket sales, I can't even open the doors.
I don't think it was. I mean, it might have been that much, but the floor show concept. So if it's guaranteed not going to sell out, they're expecting max half cap capacity. It puts it so that people are uptight, and it makes it feel like a bar show. Yeah. You know, where 50 people show up and it's killer.
Yeah.
So, and that's the idea. So once you get past, if you're not too prima donna to have the stage, you know, you can get past that. It's actually a good environment, and it's more fun for the small shows. Yeah. And you still got the Vanguard sound. You just don't get the pictures that you want, you know?
Right.
So,
that's really what it's about now. Come on.
You don't get your social status up from these shows, that's for sure.
But if you get a crazy enough crowd, I mean, that could be cool.
Sure, well, and if you sound
photos out of that, you have that PA behind you, so you have the opportunity to sound really killer and prove what you're able to do on a really quality system. Because the PA is no different, just no monitors because you're in front of the speakers.
Yeah.
So you don't need them. You get everything.
Yeah, it's cool, I think, for improvement. Like, if you're listening to yourself and stuff like that through those speakers, too. Like, there's been a couple of shows that we've played there that I've been able to, like, critique and, like, be like, oh, man, I'm fucking up right there. I got to step it up a notch. You know what I mean? I got to put more power behind that or something like that, you know? It's pretty cool, like... Because monitors, I don't even pay attention to them most of the time. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm screaming, I can hear it.
Were you rolling? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know. I kind of figured since you guys didn't stop us talking.
I've learned if you tell people that you're starting, then they just stop talking.
Right. Conversation don't flow.
But then sometimes people say shit they don't want on here, so then I got to go back and cut it out.
Right. There might be a little bit of that in there.
Oh, man. Well, we did that porch talk.
That was mad shit talking.
Yeah,
we were all just being. I still drank at the time, so we were all just drunk after.
It was David, the guitar player's birthday. So
yeah.
We were all having a good time on there. And we were all just. They had to edit so much out of that. Yeah. It was pretty funny. They were like, "Man."
Hey, we've done whole episodes where they're like, "Can you just can we just not do that? Just erase the whole thing. Just cancel it. And we did,
Like, all right, you sat here for 2 hours for no reason.
Yes,
Wow.
exactly.
Yeah, right.
I was like, that had to be one of the motherfuckers that talked the most. Thanks, man.
There was a lot of great stuff in that too.
It
Yes,
happens.
sir. Yes,
Sometimes we all let our emotions get the best of us, I guess.
Yeah.
Castleberry says he has a show for us in December, but it's a big surprise. So
Okay.
We ain't got that part out.
Now it's a big surprise.
That's true.
Now,
I didn't say what it was.
See, there you go. You can just leave that. I mean, it's at the Vanguard. We love working with that crew so much. If they want us on the bill, we just need us to do.
Definitely.
So
Yeah, for the most part, we'll just jump right on it. Like, if we're just absolutely not able to do it, that's really the only reason we want to accept a show there. Like, there's been plenty of shows, like, David's foot's real fucked up right now. He hacked it with a fucking lawnmower somehow.
he tripped over a root of the tree, I guess, while he was mowing the lawn and fell backwards and dragged the lawnmower over his foot.
Yeah.
So the doctor's like, we can cut your toe off, or if you want it, you can have it. It's just going to be stiff, but you'll be just fine without it.
Wow.
So I think he kept his toe.
Yeah, they had to. I think they recently went in and fused the bones back together. I mean, it was just in a million pieces.
Mangled, bloody mess. He sent us pictures, of course, right after it happened.
Yeah.
Like, hey, look at my foot.
Yeah,
I'm in
he
the
was taking
hospital. They haven't even
selfies in
cleaned
the
it yet.
hospital.
Like, Jesus Christ.
It was a pretty tough bastard to be able to do that, man.
No, lots of morphine.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's an ambulance ride. He was on some good shit. Come on now.
That football picture could be an album cover.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we've been trying to keep it a little slower on the shows. Like, we were just now wanting to pick it up, you know what I mean, and play a lot more, because we tried not to play too many back to back several weeks in a row or months in a row. You know, we try to space it out a little bit so people still get excited when they come to see us.
Plus, it took us like a year to record 2 songs.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody living in different zip codes and trying to come to Tulsa to Backshack Studios with Charles Ireland. It was a little, working those schedules. Plus, we also, one of the songs before Creation, the single we're about to release.
Basically wrote it in the studio.
Well, I mean, it was written, but nobody had learned their parts yet. We just finished vocals. I did a couple writing sessions with David and Tristan. And so the vocals had just been finalized, and we're like, this has got to be in there. So everybody started learning. We're like in the studio. Sorry, Charles?
That one took a while. I think
It's not like one of the things the studio guys are always saying, learn your parts before you come here.
Oh, yeah, man.
This was one where we had to explain beforehand, this song has got to be done this way. Otherwise, because this is where the time was going.
It ended up being a lot of fun for Charles, I think, though, because we ended up working on, like, melodies that you guys didn't even have, really, you know what I mean? And, like, harmonies, and, him as a producer was just, like, helping us piece it together, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. Charles, I was really surprised. Jimmy and him were in Silver Screen Monsters together.
Okay.
And so he recorded Silver Screen Monsters stuff, too. So that was our first experience working with him. And really getting a chance to meet him outside of Gadget Sons.
Yeah.
His band. And, dude's killer.
Yeah.
He beyond impressed me blew me away with what I was expecting him to produce. So I'm really happy with how these 2 tracks came out.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of one of our questions was, is there going to be an album? But if it took this long to do 2 songs.
Right. There will be an EP coming.
Cool.
So basically, like, these are singles to release in between now and then is kind of how we're trying to make it work out. We're hoping to get these 4 more songs done.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy wants to do a 6-track. So we'll get 4 songs done in this next setting.
I think over the next year, we'll probably release 2 6-track EPs. The reason that I like to do shorter albums and the reason that I like to do singles is because that's the modern market.
Yeah. You
You see rappers out there, even rock and roll, they don't even release an album for like a year. They just release singles for like 6-7 months at a time. They'll go record a single, put it out there so you guys stay. It makes your band stay relevant even when you're working.
especially if
You know what I mean? When you're
monitored
quiet
by
in
a
the
label.
studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Labels have their way they like it, and us, we just need to keep music going out there, and we haven't released anything. This is our debut.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, and what you just said, that points to another question we had was just about how it's the Wild West now. Everyone's trying everything just to see what works. And
Yeah.
So we're just, what works for you guys and is that how you want to do it? So, yeah.
yeah. I mean, we'll probably half the EP will be released before we actually release the EP, just to keep music constantly flowing out.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to go back in the studio this month and next month and probably record 2 more songs. And then by January, we're going to have another single probably floating out there.
Yeah. That's a good
And
way
then
to
by
do it.
spring, the whole
hopefully
EP
the EP
will be done.
next summer sometime is what we're shooting for, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
It took us a year to do 2 songs. So.
Here's what I'd like to bring up, though. The boys that live in Bartlesville from our band, Rocky, David, and Tristan, did not have vehicles at this time that we were recording last
there was
time,
that.
and they all 3 have vehicles now.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be
we're upgrading.
You know, I think it'll be a lot different.
Yeah.
And they've kind of because
That was half the battle.
I'm an alright guy, man, but I can be kind of a prick sometimes, and I was on their asses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean about this, about getting this done. So they've assured me that it's not going to take this long. And I mean, working with Charles too, he's got a family. You know what I mean? He's very close to his family, his parents, his wife, his kids, everything like that. So he also, he works within those constraints of, okay, I have to spend time with my family today, so I'm sorry I can't have you in, or, things like that. So and we have to be respectful of that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, there's been times that he was expecting us at the studio and we didn't show up, and that was a big deal for us because I felt like he had wasted his time just waiting for us all day.
Mhm.
And so we really felt terrible about that. So we really don't want to waste his time at all.
Yeah.
We want to really be there and get everything done. And the songs that we're doing now, the rest of the songs that we're doing, we all know they've been playing them for years, so.
Yeah, these ones will be a lot quicker. There's no, oh shit, how do you do this riff here? Because David and Tristan write the guitars, and I had input on the drums with Tristan, just small ideas, and David and him talk that. So it was him and Tristan going back and showing each other riffs, and Rocky was just coming really into the band and deciding to stick around. So Tristan did some of his tracks before we were solidified with Rocky as our guitar player.
Well, if you remember right...
No, I don't want to talk about the drama.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should.
Rocky got upset over a show, and...
We all got upset over the show. Let's clarify.
Okay,
I was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
upset too.
Well,
we
we're-
won't mention the other bands, though.
Nah, we won't
And
mention any other bands, but there were
where
a
the
bunch
show
of
was.
other bands that were on this bill for this show.
Yeah.
Was this the one that was canceled that day? I remember your post.
No,
It was one of them. It was one of those instances.
we actually didn't cancel this show. We actually ended up dragging Brax's PA
A little practice PA.
from his house. One of the reasons all these bands canceled is because it was snowing in this town that we played.
And they didn't have a PA lined up because this particular establishment doesn't have an in-house PA. You're required to bring it, and they didn't know that.
None of us knew that until...
And we didn't know that.
None of us knew that.
The week before.
until- yeah.
I could have done. I saved my little practice PA. It's a PV Triflex. It's a nice little system. I mean, if you're only pushing vocals, you can push vocals tracks in a place like the bar.
Yeah.
It won't sound like what they've got in there, but I could do a small show in there and nobody would complain.
Yeah.
So we brought it as a
It
backup.
sounded good.
I was trying to make sure, given we only had a week notice, I was like, I'm not running this show. They need to figure something out. Somebody needs
Exactly.
to communicate. And if something would have happened, I would have said, well, here's my worst case scenario. But I don't ever offer it up because then it becomes the option for people that are doing shows like that. So
Exactly.
anyway, back on point. We all got upset over it.
All the bands dropped off day of the show. Every single band
We
besides
showed up.
us. We showed up.
bar was like, thank you. And then we were all being dicks to each other. Rocky quit and didn't show up, so it was just the 4-piece.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, we were all cooled down. It's like, all right,
we need Rocky back. We played we played like 2 shows without him. We're like, we do not sound as good. Like, he just fills us out. You know what I mean? He fills us out perfectly, and that's, I enjoy running the tracks sometimes. We have a David 2.0 is what we call it.
no, David 2.0 died.
Oh yeah, he did.
It was Tristan's laptop that we used because David was in Enslaved by Fear with us too, but he dipped out on shows last minute, so he got the boot because we had to keep going.
Yeah.
And so we got a laptop for tours to fill in David's guitar because we had no time to search. So it became on that first tour we did, David 2.0. But David is now more reliable than David 2.0.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man, he did a wonderful job at the last show. It was like one of the best shows we've played all year, in my opinion. We played the Gadget Sun CD release show, and that was spectacular, man.
That was killer.
I guess some kid walked up to Charles in the crowd and did not believe we were just a local band.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
John did a great job that night. I felt like all the bands out in the crowd were sounding good. We had a pretty good pull for that place.
Yeah.
So
John at Badass Renee's is killing it on sound. The guy is doing a great job.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I played with him back in the Dragon Lair days when he was running sound there, and he's a lot better on this game now. And he wasn't bad back then because he made my black metal band not sound like shit.
Yes. Well, and then I don't know but Badass Renee's is always like, I don't. It's a small place, but you're never blasted out of there.
Nah, man,
it's just right to where.
No, if you want to go sit over by the pool tables, you won't
it's
even.
Not it's not a thing.
You can talk,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I really dig that.
Yeah, the system that he's got now too. I mean, it's probably one of the better. He's got some killer gear for that place.
Yeah.
Man, our bass drops were crazy. I could hear them on stage, and normally I can't hear them on stage.
Oh, dude, that place was rumbling. That was a good show. So Gadget Sons, killer job at your CD release.
Everybody,
check out Gadget Sons
every
online,
band that
Spotify.
played that night was awesome, dude.
Well, he sent me you guys' song, and I was listening to it out in the patio over here yesterday, and I have to applaud you guys because I don't know, I guess I'm old or I haven't it's been so long since I've done it on a regular basis, but just keeping all those parts memorized, that's just awesome.
That song's monstrous.
And the different voicings of vocals and stuff.
It's basically him and I trading off a lot of times,
Okay.
and then the clean vocals is like him and Tristan. Like
I
we kind
harmonized
of
with Tristan.
pushed him behind Tristan harmonizing. It's really funny how Braxton weaseled his way into being the harmony guy.
We spent one session with David by himself, and then one session with Tristan by himself writing the lyrics. The name is Tristan and I did this stuff when we were in Enslaved by Fear. He'd have a song named and no meaning to it really, or he might have a meaning with the name but not have the words to it. This one was just a name.
Yeah.
So I went with the name to create a storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And but by the time we hit the studio, we hadn't really had time to work on harmonies. So once we were in the studio and Charles sent us some rough tracks back that I could practice to at home, I started writing some vocal harmonies there.
Yeah, and Charles shot some ideas in there on what he thought would actually sound
Stuff came
good.
up on the fly, with Charles and him correcting some of the things that I couldn't figure out what I was doing right. Those harmonies,
Well, the moment that you weaseled your way in was on a Bassination. We won't be releasing that one. That one will just be on the album.
maybe a single later.
Yeah, maybe. You know. But what it is we were all trying to hit this note just a pitch higher than Tristan's vocals. Even Charles jumped in there, our producer, and was trying to hit the note. We were all struggling to be we need this one harmony that's just that one pitch higher. We have to do it, And Braxton jumps in there and fucking nails it immediately. And I was like, I was wanting to do some, because I just do screams in Violent Victim. I was like, I want to do some singing. But he just sounded so fucking perfect. I was like, yeah, there it is. There it is.
It's one of them old power metal fucking super high, I think we were joking in the studio and I hit it and Charles was like, get in the booth.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we listened back to it and literally all of us jumped out of our chairs because we were so happy. It just fit perfect.
I was standing in a closet, so I didn't see that.
Yeah, all of us were just yeah!
Yeah, that'd have been good video for a retrospective later.
I know,
Right.
It seems like we are terrible at taking video whenever we really need to. We'll just be sitting around dicking off and then we're recording, but nothing's happening. And then when something happens, it's like, yes, sir. Then when something happens, it's like, no recording. There's no document of it.
All
that.
It's all the generic stuff that you see on the Facebook, because it's like, oh wait, this is when people bust out cameras, right? Then the real breakthroughs are hidden, which is kind of cool, because I mean that's really what Violent Victim has been about, because we're the band of fuck ups. David and I are both ex-members of Enslaved by Fear. Tristan, still the guitar player, of course, but he loves playing drums, and we love writing. I mean, when I left Enslaved by Fear, the one thing I didn't want to lose was the ability to write music with Tristan.
Okay.
So, Before Creation has, other than the meaning of the song, a personal meaning, because that's our first song that we've written together since I left Enslaved by Fear. But, so David, I've known for 10 plus years, and always wanted to be in a band with him. And even though shit didn't work out in Enslaved by Fear, we never had any real ill. We all got over that while things were going on. So to be back in a band with probably one of the best guitar players, I mean, that I've had the opportunity to jam with, regardless of what's going on in real life, it's writing music with these guys is killer, man. So Before Creation really pushed everyone's boundaries. Tristan went balls deep in it in a way that he'd never done on the main lick. So.
And it was really funny to, and David's going to hate me for this, but it was really funny to see David, because he's so good, struggle to play some of these parts.
That's David's first solo recorded too. He's never recorded a guitar solo until Before Creation.
Wow. That's awesome.
But it was really funny because he would say, like, because I think a little bit of the time we put off in the studio was for David to learn that solo, because Tristan really wrote all those riffs. Tristan wrote all of it.
No, David, I believe, wrote, because David's a riff writer, and Tristan and other people in the band have always kind of puzzled. David will throw out sick licks, but Tristan, the main lick, like the intro to the song, that first heavy, like, that's a finger stretcher. That's a finger burner, man.
Oh, it's just really funny because, like, okay, so we took some time from the studio for him to learn that solo, and I knew he had it all along. He just, like, sometimes he doubts himself. I knew he had it all along, though. He played it for me a few times, like, not even in the studio, and I'm like, you have it! Like, why don't you just go record it? But he's just, like, so nervous, and it's, like, really funny to think of somebody that is as good as him being like, I can't do it!
Like, dude, shut up. You just did it.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss, like, this, like, little... Dude, what? You, shut up. Just go record it.
Yeah.
I mean... He really is. He doesn't realize how good he is on guitar.
He does not, man. I mean, and it's crazy, Rocky, man, because that guy, I didn't even know he played guitar before he joined the band.
Right?
I've seen him play drums and bass in, like, a lot of bands.
Lavity House and For the Wolf for years.
Yeah, he was in a band called The Thrill That Kills way back in the day. They were real popular in the hardcore scene here in Tulsa. And, yeah, I've known him since around back then. But I never have seen him play guitar, really. And then he just, like, learns all of our songs.
Yeah, David's like, dude, the drummer of Lavity House wants to play guitar for us, Braxton. I'm like, drummer? Like, David, you realize we've never been able to find a guitar player other than Tristan that can keep up with you. It's like, and it's not keep up. I mean, there are plenty of guys out there that can, but most of the guys that want to play the shit that we're playing as tight and as intricate as we're playing it are already in other bands in this area. So trying to find someone that's not already, because if you're that good, people want you to play. I mean, that's... David gets away with a lot.
So most everybody in your band's multi-instrumentalist, right?
Yeah. David's actually the only one that does... I mean, he plays drums, but he doesn't play in a band. So Rocky plays drums for Lavity House, formerly For the Wolf, and then plays guitar for us.
I just do vocals in two bands.
He just does vocals, that's right.
I mean, I can play drums, I can play guitar, and I can play bass. Could not imagine doing it in a band. Like, I can keep a rhythm for, like, 5 measures on drums. You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine actually playing a whole song live on an instrument or anything like that. Like, I can sit down and jam, and I can jam with people if we're just having a good time, but, yeah. Can't imagine having to just be that on point at all times. Because even though Violent Victim is like a super tight, no room for error kind of show, I can still dick around a little bit.
So him and David are the only two that don't play another instrument in another band. And then Tristan's guitar for Enslaved by Fear, drums for us. And then, of course, I sing for Fist of Rage.
Yeah.
I actually play drums for a church, too. So,
well, with so much going on with each of you guys, is that fulfilling, or is it hard to keep it all balanced and together?
yes.
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 Double
the
yes.
answer.
Yes, and
Yeah, yes
No.
and yes.
I don't know. The two band thing, I mean, I did that with Enslaved by Fear. It was a lot easier in Enslaved by Fear and Violent Victim because Tristan and I both being in Enslaved by Fear. It's like, okay, so we had each other to back up each other's schedules and help remind each other stuff. So now that it's all separate units, it's a little different and it's more of a juggle. But you know, I mean, it's worth it. I mean, singing, man, I love to sing.
yeah,
And that's what, of course, I've tried to weasel my way, you know, before Jimmy even jumped on as a frontman. I was like, I don't care who. It's like, I've got next dib on clean vocals in this shit because Tristan, he called all the clean vocal lines, like straight, no, Braxton, I'm the clean vocalist for this band.
He,
like,
he was
fucking
like,
damn it!
I want to sing and play drums, damn it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I was like, fine, I'm going to be your harmony, and if you don't want to sing it, if I write it, then I get it.
Yeah,
So he's get first right of refusal on the clean vocal lines. Jimmy's third in line.
He gave me a shot at Badass Renee's the other night, and I fucking blew it. So I had like started early, and he looked at me and goes,
Nope.
and then he did it. He was like, God damn it. He passed it to me because I'd asked him like, because I noticed he never does it live. He's like, it's too fucking hard. But then he just did it, and he did it perfectly anyways.
He does that shit too, like David. Like, oh man, it's so hard. But it sounds good. You do it. Just do it.
Well, you mentioned it being hard. I mean, are you able to focus 100% on one thing at a time? Do you separate it that way, or?
Yeah,
Because obviously, like, you've been active with both bands recently.
yeah. No, it's just, I mean, a lot of communication with my wife. God bless her. I wouldn't be able to do a lot of that, what I do without her. I mean, because playing as many shows as I play, we don't get babysitters for every one of them. She doesn't hardly show up anymore. Because especially with the two bands, it takes up a lot of scheduling.
Too many. Why would you want to get a babysitter every weekend? You know?
No, I mean, when it comes down to whatever band needs the work right then is what I put my work into. So Violent Victim's got a show coming up, and Fist of Rage has one down the road. Violent Victim gets that focus because generally I'm getting at least a week in between prep at the very least for whatever show that I'm playing. So it's just dates and prep. So,
and for both of you guys, you know, both being singers, you know, what do you pull from each other? What can you learn from each other?
Man, I learned a shitload from this guy, man.
Okay. We're still learning how to use each other too. I mean,
We are.
before creation was that challenge. Like, all right, so I wanted to do a lot of vocals on a song for Violent Victim. This was the opportunity to write it because there aren't a whole lot for two vocalists.
And I ain't selfish, so.
So we talked about it. I was like, all right. So I wanted to write it packed full of fucking screaming gnarliness so that Jimmy, even though I'm doing almost, he's doing majority of the vocals. I tried
If
to
you
make
count
sure.
the harmonies.
That don't count. Referring to the screaming in particular. Tristan does the clean singing. That don't count. It's separate. Categorizing, right? No, but so yeah, we just wanted it. I didn't want Jimmy to feel bored because as a singer, I can respect that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like with Fist of Rage, V's got Dirty Woman. And that's where I step off the stage to
Like-
take a break.
Like, literally, kind of like one of our the first times that I knew, like, I was in, you know what I mean? He had already been like, don't fuck with Before Creation, man. I got dibs on that one, man. Because I was asking Tristan, like, what songs don't have vocals? What songs don't have lyrics that I can write to? You know what I mean? But it turns out they had so many fucking songs already done, written, everything. I didn't even have time to write anything because I had to learn all of their stuff. I mean, it's really funny to think about my first two shows with Violent Victim because I thought that I knew the lyrics, and then the moment I hit the stage, I forgot every single word.
So what do you do when that happens?
I had to ad-lib, man.
Yeah.
I had to ad-lib, and it was luckily we played in Lawton, Oklahoma, our first show for.
So he
Yeah,
likes
the
that
band.
dirty sludge where you can't understand a single thing. He
Yeah.
fucking make it nasty. So it doesn't really matter anyway, because even when he's saying the words, most people are like, "Woo!
Yeah.
What did you say?"
They don't care what I say.
They're like, we're fucking dead.
They just like the sound of it,
right?
But yeah, it was a rough few months actually playing shows
Threw
and
him to the fire.
feeling terrible about myself because I didn't really know the lyrics very well, and I was trying to learn the lyrics. And their music is super energetic. That's the thing about Violent Victim is their music's energetic, upbeat. I mean, it's metal, which you couldn't really call metal upbeat, I guess, but it's upbeat. It's always on the move. There's not really like a lot of slowdown time, and the vocals. I told Tristan, I was like, you fucker. I was like, you wrote this not knowing how hard this actually is to perform, man. Because I'm telling you, man, like the vocals are just constant. They don't stop. There's,
that's where it came in to finally teach me to help him. That's where the extra vocal songs came from. Is he's like, "Hey, Braxton, do this."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. It was just, and he said in the end of everything, after I learned everything as one vocalist, he's like, well, I wrote it for two people. Like,
Yeah.
thanks, man. I've been killing myself, Like, I've gotten off stage and projectile vomited before, because
He's out of breath.
Because I'm so out of
Hey,
it,
man,
man.
you're putting everything into it.
I try. I really do, man. I think all of us do. I feel bad for David right now because he's having to sit down, and he's a hair whipper, man. So I can see
He's like-
him so bad just wanting to get up.
We got to cancel all these shows, guys.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck your foot. You've got a stool.
Yeah.
That's so gay. Who the fuck sits down and plays metal? It's fuck. No, we're canceling the show. Shut up, David. You're sitting in a stool. He's like, it's like if he can't hair whip, he doesn't want to play.
That's great.
Man, I mean, he's still does his thing sitting over there, and it's pretty cool because we got his effects and stuff fixed. So he's over there like messing with his pedal while he's like on the stool, like balancing on one leg, basically. The dude is just a trooper, man. I'm really proud of him for stepping up. I know he really didn't want to play a bunch of shows.
But we had him booked, and he trooped through it anyway. Of course, now Rocky's giving him the royalty treatment, but you just get up on stage and he gets a guitar handed to him. That's
Oh yeah, we
tuned.
basically pick him up like a king.
I think he's juiced. That foot's fine. You can walk. You just want the treatment.
Yeah.
No. I'm just kidding. It was frustrating. Like, we got a system now. First time we did it, I'm like, I don't know what to do with your shit, David. Plug in your own chords. I'm not a guitar player.
Oh, that was when we played
Rock.
at Mass Movement, which is a new venue. It's a DIY venue.
I can't even remember who, but I saw that venue and I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not, it's like not that far from here or something.
No,
right?
it's not too far.
15th
Just
and
down
Harvard.
Harvard.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
It's do you guys remember the Pink Eye at all?
Yeah.
It's basically
Cleaner version.
Yeah, it's a cleaner version of the Pink Eye, but
No
also
alcohol.
yeah, you're no alcohol or anything like that. It's for kids pretty much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a DIY
Old
venue,
school
all
hard
ages.
Town needs
vibe,
something
man.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like old school hardcore. Like the first show we played, which I was really surprised that we got put on because it was with some heavy hardcore bands, which are like fucking
Angry
intense,
metal.
man,
Mhm.
intense.
I can't remember the name.
Iron Curtain,
That's what it is.
Iron
Yes.
Curtain, and OTM from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, those guys were cool.
Sworn Enemy played there or something. No, it wasn't. I can't remember. Fuck me. Whatever.
I feel like Sworn Enemy played here recently.
Yeah, I saw they played somewhere. It was.
It was
I
at
haven't seen
89th
them in a
Street.
while.
89th Street Collective in
Okay.
Oklahoma City. That's
Oh, that's-
probably where
yeah.
it was. We're
Yeah,
actually
more
about
likely.
to play there. We're excited
I
about
think
that.
so. We're waiting on all the details for it, but hopefully, I think November 30th is the date. So we'll see if that gets confirmed.
Is it with other Oklahoma City bands or?
Yeah. Someone reached out to us and invited us to come play with them. So
I've been
hope
trying
that
to get
works
us
out.
on there in a while because I don't know if you guys are keeping up with Oklahoma City metal right now, but it is taking
Keep
off.
up with it all.
It is.
Yeah.
It's out of control right now.
And
The
I-
OKC Slam Fam, they call it, man.
Yeah.
those
That's
guys.
brutal music coming out of OKC.
Yeah, I mean they're on this company called Slam Worldwide, and it's like these. There's bands from like the UK, Europe, and there's like all over the place that are on this company, and there's bands just shooting out of OKC every day that are on this shit. You know,
I like 89th Street. I think that's a really cool fucking place.
it was the conservatory back in the day, wasn't
Right,
it?
I'm glad they upgraded it because I thought the conservatory was like, how the fuck do you put Black Dahlia in the conservatory? Like that place, I mean, that place was popping and a fun show, but the PA system looked like it belonged in the trunk of my car. Not fucking.
Man, I saw a lot of punk shows there growing up. They had a lot of punk shows there and a lot of hardcore shows there.
I mean, the shows were killer. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The Black Dahlia murder was the first time I went to the Collective, or no, I guess Carnifex and Within the Ruins. But anyway, I mean, it was killer shows. But what the Collective has been doing at
Oh, yeah,
89th
man.
Street, they've been cleaning it up,
Yeah.
Well, it's just
rearranging.
become
I
a
like
whole
that
new
step
thing.
down, and then you can just, like, the corner of it, and you can see, and that's just a great place to see a show.
It is, man.
That's where Whitechapel just played too. So
We saw Phil and Selma and the Illegals there.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh, that's badass.
That was so good.
Man, we played at this place, and we actually visited Dime's grave that
Mhm.
day, or the next
Diamond
day.
Gyms.
Yeah, we played at this place called Diamond Gyms. That's one hell of a venue.
Dude, I remember the first time that I played there.
It was in where? Fort Worth?
It's in Arlington.
Arlington.
So it's just like you see the stadium. It's a
Yeah.
hop, skip, and a jump from
Yeah.
the Abbott grave. But like the first time we played there was in Sleep by Fear, and they had the stage there was a tarp. You were sitting underneath a tarp, and then at the one end there was a string with a pencil at the end where the water ran down, so you didn't get rained on if it was raining outside. Shit, dude. They fixed that the last time Violent Victim was there, but
Yeah, we played.
it
We
was
played
forever
there.
memorable playing underneath a tarp with a 55-gallon drum over here
That's
dripping
fucking
water.
awesome, man.
What was it that? Why did we play so bad?
I don't know. Alcohol?
No. Oh, no. We couldn't. None of us could hear each other. Like all the monitors were like muted, basically.
I don't know.
And the
I
stage
only
there
need
is
me and drums.
pretty big. Like the stage is pretty big. Like pretty fucking big, and
We
it's like
think-
tall too.
Now, mind you, when we say we did horrible, everybody else tells us we didn't.
Right.
But we're like,
Oh, yeah, that's how
That's the-
you know.
that's the
That's
hardest.
how it always goes. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I don't care what
That's the
you
hardest
say.
part.
I know
Just
what.
be nice, whatever, but thanks, but we fucking suck. I know.
right? All the
Fucking
bands
been
I've
there.
ever been in, this band is the worst at that. We're like, dude, you fucking suck tonight. Fuck you, David.
That's usually you. You're the one that calls everyone out.
Well, only when David turns around and says, "You suck, Tristan." David, shut the fuck up.
Oh, he did do that.
Not in those exact words. Anyway, it's fun.
I think I've done that.
We argue as much as fucking prima donna little girls with each other, but
I think
for some
I did
reason
that-
we all get over it.
I think I did that to David recently. Oh, it was when we played Mass Movements. I was like, he like did something early. It wasn't even really that big a deal. I was like, you fucking suck, dude. Like,
That's actually a good joke. That was the first time we put both guitars on the opposite side of the stage of me. I sounded great.
we're never
My bass tone was killing
we're
it.
never doing that again. We're just gonna keep
Nope.
you wireless,
We're
and
gonna-
we're gonna.
No, I want my.
I don't
See,
want guitars
we're gonna
coming
be
out of one
rotating.
side and then bass just
We're
coming
gonna
out
keep
of one
singers
side.
out of this
That doesn't make
conversation. You
sense.
know, we're rotating.
Okay, if you're
I
mine,
move more than everyone with stringed instruments. David headbangs and hair whips a lot. All right. But I like to move, and I'm always stepping on people or behind people.
we run
we're
into
gonna
each other
rotate.
quite a bit.
Every other show, somebody gets their own side of the stage. All right, fuck this. I want to.
Rocky said I knocked his guitar out of tune a shitload
Probably.
the other night.
So, no, that as the bass player, I get stuck behind everybody.
Hey, if we're miking,
everybody wants the
if
guitar.
we're miking you,
So-
I don't care where the hell you are, all right? But if we're not miking you, you need to be in between.
I only dial in
the
my own
guitar.
monitor. I don't dial in everybody else's. That's why everybody complains about their monitors and I don't about mine.
You're like, hey, I need hey, just me.
I have exactly what I need.
Well, you guys releasing your first single now. Like you've been together. I mean, the band's been together for quite a while. And how
Yeah.
how did you? I mean, you've done a good job at keeping your name out there, people knowing who you are? How do you maintain that without a product for people?
I don't even know. I thank you to everyone that's been with Violent Victim from the start, including our original members, because I'm not even an original member of this band. I came in replacing their original bass player. But, I mean, all the members, past, are still supportive, and
They
all
are,
the
man.
fans that we gained with them in the band didn't leave us when they left. And then just, I don't know, community, man. I don't know, because we don't have a whole lot out there. We've got some shitty YouTube live videos from my garage, but we've got shut down on some shows for not having something to demo to the managers or whatever.
We
and it
definitely
happens.
have, man.
This is cool for us to be able to release this.
Yeah,
and man, really, really happy with how these 2 tracks came out too. I can't just express how Charles in Backcheck Studios blew me away with what I expected to get. So, and then when Josh Wickman with Dreadcore Productions mastered it, so he did Within the Ruins and Silence the Messenger. Some other bands.
I See Stars, Knights of the Abyss,
Yeah,
to name a few more.
We're
We're gonna have to edit that, you asshole.
we edit nothing.
Dude, I remember when I heard that song for the first time.
Yeah, I'm really excited that it was really crazy. We were recording with Charles, and he was like, "Yeah, I got this guy." And it's like, this guy mastered Within the Ruins. They have one of the most crisp sounds in all of technical metalcore. Basically, I mean, they're not death. I mean, they're just super technical metal. You know,
Within the Ruins, man.
and they're a great band. He's liked them for a long time. I didn't really get into them until I realized that guy that's mastering our songs did this.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck, man? You know, like,
Mastering's the icing on the cake. We wanted to make sure, because we had super bass drop heavy, so there are going to be some stereo systems. If you got a cheap, you're going to, but we wanted it to punch
Everywhere.
in the average, at least car stereo. So, dude,
I
and
mean,
he did a great job dialing it in. So,
I mean, to be honest with you, our songs sound better on my tiny little Bluetooth speaker than it did on my like big surround sound at home. It was really weird because I don't know why, but my surround sound, like the vocals are down really low. So like it wasn't really like, you know, like vocal heavy. But then I put it on my little Bluetooth speaker and it was like hopping around. It was like
I don't know what kind of
super
computer
loud.
system you got, man. You need to upgrade.
Oh, I know, man. My stuff's old. Like I literally just threw a smoke detector through one of my TV screens. I don't need to upgrade anytime soon.
It's okay.
All right.
Burnt the fucking fish sticks again.
No,
Shut up.
all right.
I get it. I tried to bite a Nintendo controller in half when I was fucking a teenager.
I was
There's 2
No, he's
songs.
30,
I
just
get
because he looks like he's 18.
32. No, I fell asleep. I was a little drunk, and I burnt some shit in the oven. My fiance woke me up with a burning smoke detector in my ear. Yeah, exactly. So I just went, ah! And then I immediately was like,
Yep.
So,
Off the Best Buy we go.
right?
no, luckily we had a spare TV and everything like that. Luckily we had a spare TV. But yeah, that one was a really nice one.
So I got a big question for you guys. It's the money number here.
Is he interviewing you guys now? What the hell is this?
That's okay.
Where the fuck's the bathroom? I gotta
That's not an interview question.
No left, you'll see it. Yeah, we got through all of our questions, didn't we?
I don't know how to look the whole time.
See, I've kind of been checking everything. But see, what I like about these guys is they just, you let them go. You answered like literally 3 questions we had. Just when you guys, I'm like, this is perfect.
Well, we
Do nothing.
we talked about it too on the way here. I mean, I tend to go in with a game plan and shit that I intend to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when they're like, "What do you not want to talk about?"
Yeah.
Probably talked about some shit we probably shouldn't.
So what's up? Since we're just sitting here, what's up with Fist of Rage?
I'm in the studio. I just started recording vocals for some more tracks.
Oh, okay.
So not quite a full-length album worth of stuff there.
Yeah.
But almost. I don't know what V's still rebuilding from his house burning down and then moving into his shop, and then his shop flooded 3 times during those storms.
Jeez.
So, like, his house burns down, and then his shop's flooding constantly.
Didn't somebody else's, like Dale's house burn down? God,
Yeah.
man, that fucking
Dale's
sucks.
house toasted before
What
that.
happened to V's house? How does that
I
happen?
have no idea how it. I mean,
Dude, that
I don't
blows.
cry.
2 fucking great guys,
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
That happened to us when I was like 15. It fucking sucks, dude.
yeah,
Yeah. That's rough.
yeah. That was awkward for a moment. We'd be like, "Hey, V, where's that such and such thing that you were using the other day on stage?" "Oh yeah, in my house.
Yeah.
You should get that." "Let me do that. I'll sift through the ashes tomorrow."
Jeez, yeah.
Fucking cheap. I'm sorry, V.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, that's brutal.
Well-
He's a fucking trooper. You know?
Yeah, dude. He
He
had a
just-
sense of humor about it, you know? I mean, the guy is tough as nails, you know?
He's old school. I mean, I'm just glad that they're on the other side of it and they're building their house on some land. I think everything's settled now.
Yeah. Good.
Just that's where a lot of his effort's been at, as far as that being. So, being the end of the year, we don't have anything booked. We'll book if it's big, like worthwhile at the Vanguard or
Mm-hmm.
Kane's Ballroom.
That
or
Last
Diamond
in Line
Ballroom.
show looked good.
Dude, that Last in Line show was killer.
Yeah.
You guys were there.
Yeah, that was,
So that was
really
fun.
cool.
We got a fucking super long set.
I mean, I'm a huge Vivian Campbell fan. I wish I could have
that guitar
not
player.
had to work.
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't fault that guy for playing Def Leppard at all. That's a paycheck. But you don't see what he can do in that. I mean,
Nah.
that guy can fucking rip, dude.
I don't
Oh, yeah.
follow modern Def Leppard. I like
Yeah,
Def Leppard.
yeah.
I'll listen to the classics. Don't get me
I
wrong.
love Def Leppard, man. That
Uh,
fucking what is it, Pyromania? That was one of the best fucking 80s metal albums ever, dude, in my opinion. I fucking listen to that every day if I could.
I used to listen. I grew up listening to Def Leppard, Iron Maiden, Kiss, Judas Priest. You know, and then my mom. She
Oh
was
yeah,
more-
man! If you guys saw some
I'm on
pictures of
guard.
me when I was 20, dude, fucking big old stupid hair. I was so into 80s hair metal when I was a kid.
He looked like a glam. He looked like.
Yes.
So his hair was like what Chaotic Resemblance used to do.
Oh shit!
Oh, fuck, is that one?
That Christian power metal band.
Oh, yeah.
From the OKC or something.
Yeah.
You guys
They
remember
got that, like, flock of seagulls
Hollywood
kinda
Harlot?
pop up?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
You guys
Nikki
remember
Sixx.
Hollywood Harlot? Yeah, I used to hang out with those guys and shit like that too, or at least their singer a couple times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Super
so
singing
I was
kid.
just like, and I was like really into, like, I hung out with like a lot of the punk rock kids and stuff like that when I was a kid too. Like, I grew up really more into the punk rock and hardcore scene than I did metal, you know.
Mhm.
I really didn't get super fucking into metal until like, it was like after high school, but my high school buddies just start like, they listened to the same music that I did, but then all of a sudden they kind of transitioned. And they were listening to bands like The Faceless and Whitechapel, Lamb of God, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was like, that was kind of what I started transitioning to because all my friends were listening to it. I basically had no choice, you know, like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I still have the strong hardcore roots. I mean, that's basically what I listen to on the daily basis right there. That's why I'm really adamant about kind of getting us in that scene a little bit. Like, I bring a little bit of like the hardcore style vocals to Violent Victim also.
Mhm.
Like, none of the guys, I think David might like it a little bit, but
I don't.
none of
It
the
doesn't
guys
sound
are really
bad.
like
Otherwise
super
I'd say something.
into it. You know what I mean? Like, into the music style itself. But I'm just trying to get us to where we can be, you know, we can play with all kinds of, you know, different bands and stuff like that and not just be pigeonholed.
And then
As much as we love playing with our friends in Alter Blood and Gadget Sons and all that all the time,
Mhm.
I still, you know, I want us to branch out and play with bands that we don't know, you know, and I want to get their fans on board with us and stuff
everybody
like that.
wants. Yeah, I always play. I love finding new bands. What I love the most is it's like every show is like another day. You know, it's you when you're playing shows. I'm in this state of mind. This is what I have to do to prepare. Stop and give every band a little bit of respect. But I love it most when I'm not even trying to. I'm in my routine and this band is what? So I mean that was
Yeah.
I think OTM did that at Mass Movement too.
Man, Iron Curtain was sick, but their lead singer was so fucking intimidating. I didn't even
Yeah, dude, that dude was hard. You talk about hardcore? This guy was hardcore.
fucking covered head to toe in tats.
Bulging
Fucking
veins.
Southern California fucking Mexican dude. Just
Oh,
like,
shit.
come
Yeah.
on, motherfucker. And he's like
Oh,
pissed that no one's
in your
moving
face.
because that's how old school hardcore is.
Yes.
Like, if no
Oh,
one's
yeah.
moving, the fucking band is pissed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were just pissed. The singer wasn't even on the stage. She was in the fucking floor.
He was.
I was standing in the very back by the venue, and they're like, I'm not going up there, man.
This guy's gonna annihilate me.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna stay
and
right
I
here.
feel like I'm a pretty tough motherfucker, but I was like, not
I do
even.
not wanna get
I'm
punched
not
by
gonna.
you.
Yeah. And it was really funny because the dude was so sweet before.
Dude, he was a nice guy. Really
Yeah.
calm.
Yeah,
He's got-
super
he's got-
nice guy,
he's got
man.
that sweet
He was
tone,
like
yeah.
loving our band and
As soon as he
shit. You
grabbed
know
that
what I mean? Just like, I do not want to see that dude in the fucking dark alley. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But they were fun to play with, man, and all of them dug our set, you know, so that was cool too. It's always good to, you know, especially a band that's on their level. That was their final tour. Like, they've been around for a long time on the hardcore scene. So it was really like to see them dig our music. That's definitely not we're definitely not a hardcore band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're the only band on that bill that had the metal sound. You know what I mean? And so to have them and have the other bands like, you know, nodding their heads and, you know, stuff
Yeah.
like that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
There were some, too, one of the questions you asked earlier, I think I want to revisit and give you think about it for a minute. Talk about how Violent Victim, not having anything out there to keep people interested or pull them in as far as a release. I think, you know, this band started where it was. When I pulled into it, I was focused elsewhere. So I honestly think the real motivation has come with Rocky and Jimmy being put in the mix and pulling things in their direction, because everybody's so used to how we had done things, Tristan, David, and I, and Enslaved by Fear or whatever, and it was just like trying to figure out what's going to work. And so we were just trying to play in the meantime.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rocky and Jimmy come along, and they've got a different perspective, fresh eyes on it. And so these two have been pulling us in a direction, and especially with Jimmy, you know, pushing his fans and his fans that have followed him from Silver Screen and beyond. They've come out and supported us. So I really give it a lot of credit to Rocky and Jimmy for where we're at right now, to be honest.
Yeah,
So
that works.
You know what, man? When I joined this band, I listened to some MIDI tracks that they sent me, you know what I mean? But they were great. They fucking sounded badass. Tristan's really good at piecing that shit together. For me, it did because I already knew what I was getting.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't getting like a recording. I knew I was getting something to practice to, something as a reference.
yeah, that's
You
what
know?
it was for.
And so, like,
That's how we all learn anything that Tristan and David write. When they put a song together, Tristan records it all, puts it together, and then sends it all out. And says, figure out what you want to do to this, basically.
Wow.
yeah, and we actually don't even practice. So,
I mean, we do, just
not as a band.
very seldom as a band.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, we have to, like, literally just count on everyone practicing on their own to the songs that we have.
so we played a click track live.
Yeah.
So, I mean, as long as we're all practicing the same click tracks, we should know what's up. Tristan's changed up a couple of the trick clicks lately and remodified them. It's part of the reason our bass drops are sounding way better is because he revisited everything. And
Mhm.
so there's a little nuances now that we've got to learn with these click tracks that he's got. But other than that, I mean, we still organize the songs in any direction. It's not like it's all one.
Yeah.
I mean, do you like the way that works, or is it just out of necessity?
I love it, man.
It's
It
a little,
helps.
little of both.
I love it because it helps me, especially if we write a new song that I haven't written to yet or something like that. If they can record that and send it to me, it'll be much easier to write that song than if I'm just standing there in practice listening to them all jumble it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As a
They're
vocal,
trying to work shit out, and you're like, okay,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No
I'm
shit.
just gonna go have
I
a
don't want to
beer
just
that
stand
is-
there.
I get
Wait.
that. I get that. Yeah.
But
Spend all practice learning guitar riffs.
Yeah.
Why am I even sitting here?
Yeah.
back to what I was saying, like, when I first joined the band, like, I knew that, like, these songs could be turned into just great recordings. And when I joined the band, I had already been talking to Charles for a long time about recording us. Like, they had this other guy in mind. I won't name names.
He's good.
He's
They're both
good. He's good, but he never contacted us ever again after
we just simply decided Jimmy had a direction that he wanted to go to. Tristan and I talked about it.
Oh, okay.
At least, and you had a direction you wanted to go with, and Tristan and I didn't want, like, we weren't meant to lead this band.
Yeah.
So Jimmy, and that's, again, credit to Jimmy and Rocky, they wanted to step up and lead this band in a different way than we've been led before, or I've led. So Jimmy had motivation to go to this guy, and he wanted to make it happen, and we didn't want to stop him from doing that.
And I really appreciate that. I remember joining the band and being like, well, I'm the new guy. I'm not sitting here taking over. And, you know, Tristan and Brax are like, but you're the leader, dude. You're taking over. This is how it's going to work, you know? And I was just not wanting to step on toes or be a dick, you know, and just them giving me that go ahead was really, it was a boost to my confidence for one thing. I think it made me start playing better shows when they did that. And it really, like you said, it sent us in the right direction because, you know, the guys aren't from Tulsa. You know what I mean? They're not really from here. So they need a person here, you know what I mean, that's doing things here to keep us relevant here. Because there's not really shows going on in Bartlesville. There's not really shows going on in Skytoon. You know what I mean? The shows are here. The shows are here. The shows are in Oklahoma City. So they need someone that's advocating for them constantly here, you know? And I feel like that's why, you know, when I first joined the band, I knew that there was something there, something special. When I heard even the MIDI tracks, you know, I was like, we can be good. We can be popular. We can do this, you know? Yeah. And, like, it's really cool that my fiance has been so patient with me because I have blown a shitload of money on this project.
He's the only one that, he solely paid for the recording of these two tracks. I paid in part for the mastering, not entirety. He paid for the other half.
But I've told her, like, I'm telling you, like, give me time. We're going to be special, and I know it. I can see it, and that's one of the things that, even through all the treacherous shit, I mean, it hasn't been treacherous, but there's been some shit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even through all of it, that's why I'm just sticking with it no matter what, man. Yeah. I think there's something special here.
It gets hard sometimes, especially with as emotional as, you know, Tristan, David, and I have dealt with each other for years, so we're all pretty set in our ways, and sometimes that's not for the best either. And then it takes these two to say, hey, stop being a douchebag. Because they
nah, man, it's not me because I'm kind of a douchebag too. It's Rocky. That dude's the voice of reason right there. That dude's the one that's always like, all right, guys. I appreciate that from him, though. You know? And I don't want to say that any one person is the leader of this band. I think we are all kind of set in our own ways enough to know that, you know that I'm not going to steer you wrong. You're not going to steer me wrong,
it ends
and
up
vice versa for everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
So,
I know you guys, just in the span of us sitting here, you've got some show possibilities popping up. Well, what's like the next thing that's like officially on the books?
A Very Violent Christmas.
I like that. I already like the name of it.
Badass Renee's gave us our own night.
Really?
On December 21st.
Cool.
And it's going to be... Our friends from Otis the Axe are coming in from Texas, and they are amazing. They are one of the best bands.
Savage. They're brutal.
Yeah, one of the best bands I've seen live in a long fucking time. They're coming up here, and then it's Alter Blood, To Mom Should, which is my band, and Lucas, the drummer from Alter Blood's other band, used to be Forever in Disgust.
That's got the Parker Brothers.
He was
playing guitar for
that.
Yeah, that's our debut show right there, so we'll be opening up.
God damn it.
I was going to ask you how to pronounce that. I didn't want to do it on...
To Mom Should.
While we're recording.
To Mom Should.
To Mom Should.
Yeah, it's a case based out of Australia. You guys look it up. This isn't about, this podcast isn't about To Mom Should, so you guys can look it up. It's a really interesting case. But, it's, A Very Violent Christmas will be, To Mom Should will be opening, and then Mother's Little Bastard will be playing second. No, never mind. I was going to put Mother's Little Bastard second because I was going to give Lucas a break. Because we had a lot of blast beats into Mom Should. But he was like, I don't want to tear down my drums and then put them back up there. He's like, I'm just going to play 2 straight sets. So it's going to be To Mom Should, Altar Blood, Mother's Little Bastard, Otis the Axe, and then Violent Victim.
Cool.
Wow. Hell yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And then, of course, hopefully something pans out at the Collective on November 30th. So if you see something on their schedules with Violent Victim, OKC people, check it out.
Yeah, man, he's definitely the dad of the band. That's for goddamn sure.
Well, that's good. I mean, don't you kind of need that?
We do need that, man. We definitely do.
And is that okay for you to take on that role? Are you good with that?
I don't think
Or
they're
do
good.
you want them to police themselves?
I don't think they're good with me having that role because I'm an Iron Fist. Like, these are the rules. Discipline.
It's literally when we go out of town. It's literally like he's the teacher taking some kids on a field trip. Legit, man. We're all just hands out the window. He's like, "Get your fucking hands in the window!"
Get a fucking side, rip that shit off.
Like, did I just hear you open a fucking beer?
Don't make me come back there, David. Don't make me come back there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
We're driving.
well, for the first couple times, we were just cracking beers like crazy. Braxton's like, "God damn it!" But the last time he was like, "No." He was like, "We're not even fucking stopping to get beer until we
Like,
get
we're
to
taking
Texas."
my
How
car
about
down.
that?
I'm taking my car. No beer. The reefer stays outside.
Yeah.
Well,
If,
because we're going
if
to
you have
Texas,
your prescriptions, I mean, you got to have your valid prescription for those states. Yeah.
Oh yeah, man! I remember we were leaving Oklahoma one time, and I was like, "Well, you're in Rocky's licenses don't mean shit now."
I do not take any medication to Texas.
Hell no, man!
No, God,
Texas
no.
don't play with that
No,
shit.
They
I
got
don't
an
take
express
it
lane
in.
for that shit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, do you guys have a timetable for the second single that
No.
that
Well,
you've already? I mean, you've already.
I'm putting out a timetable because
He-
I want to put the pressure on.
he wants the timetable. We kind of talked about it. So he wants a timetable because he wants to put the pressure on the band to get shit done. I'm just kind of wanting the time, and that's why Bass Nation is kind of in the pocket. So if shit happens, we've got it. Okay, well, we can push it back a little bit further and split things up a little better to
Right.
keep it. So by the time we're done recording these next 4 songs, then
We
maybe
actually-
we'll have a single.
We actually kind of went the Queen route here because we were going to release a Bassination, which is about 3 minutes 25
Yeah.
seconds, because that's single. You know what I mean? That's single material
it's
right
perfect.
there. But a Bassination doesn't have a chorus or
It
a
doesn't.
verse or anything like that. I mean, it has a verse, but it doesn't have a chorus. It's not really a single.
It's a fucking heavy.
It's a heavy,
fucking song.
fast, energetic song.
Yeah,
But, my problem with, it wasn't my problem. It was my thing with Before Creation was, that's a 6-minute song there.
dude, just
Yeah.
5 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's long,
But it's verse, chorus,
Well-
bridge. You know what I mean? It's got all that shit
It's-
for a single.
and it's groovy as fuck too.
Oh, yeah.
just
I'm trying to
you
get...
listen to it. So
Yeah.
you asked us what we think about our own songs. What did you get? I mean,
I loved it.
That-
I mean, it was more. It had a lot, like you're talking about the harmonies and the clean vocals. It had more of that than I was expecting
yeah,
from having seen you guys live, which I know you do that, but I'm still just when I think of you guys, I think of intensity when it comes
Right.
to vocals. So it was kind of a cool surprise, and being 5.5 minutes long. I mean, this day and age, I don't think that matters.
no,
There's so many technical metal bands out there that just release there's jam metal bands now, so I mean there's bands out there just jamming, I mean I really didn't want to make this a single, but the thing is this song means a shitload to Braxton,
it does.
and I couldn't deny him of that. I
Well-
had to say, I had to put my pride aside because the Bassination song is just basically me.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I
all-
mean?
that's all Jimmy.
It's me. And of course, I wanted to get myself out there because I felt like I sound like a fucking beast in that song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I really wanted to get that out there. But knowing how much this song means to Braxton and knowing kind of the story behind it and everything, it just, I needed that for him, That was That was just kind of my thing there.
We were gonna do a vaccination, and I had already agreed. And then once we got the masters back, and we sent demos out to people that are relevant, that have to have that shit to work with. Like I wasn't like the Vanguard and all that stuff. And as we started sending it out to these people that are going to use it to help us get shows if they come available or whatever, the shows that we've been missing out on. So they're like, man, that everyone started saying Before Creation is going to be a killer single because we didn't really say which one we were releasing.
Yeah.
So, and that was when my head flipped and I was like, can we please? Everybody's saying we should do that.
I wasn't that happy about it at first. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I was argumentative for like 5 minutes. I thought about it.
Five
like,
and a half.
You had to wait for the song.
I had to hear it again. I had to hear it again.
Cool, man. We appreciate you guys doing this.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. It's really awesome that you guys are going to be able to be the first ones to put it out there too.
Yeah,
it
we
means a lot to
appreciate
have.
that. That's great.
Yeah,
You
and we're
guys
sorry we yacked your heads off.
You were the first ones. Like I sent messages out, and then as soon as you guys responded, I ignored everybody else.
Yeah, I feel
Oh,
sorry.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
There you go, Jimmy and Brax from Violent Victim. A huge thanks to them for coming over and talking to us there for a bit about everything they've got going on and coming up.
Yeah, I can just echo that. They they came on over to the Midtown headquarters, and yeah, we had a great conversation, and glad that we could unfurl it for everybody there.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm very glad that they had us debut the
Totally
the debut single there
Yeah,
Before
definitely.
Creation. So yeah, once again, you want to hear that again? Just when this is done, go back and listen to it again. You've got
Yeah,
here just a few days where this is your only source for that until Friday. So.
yeah. So just we don't mind listen to it however much you want.
Right.
Makes us happy.
That's right. But yeah, also, if you're a fan of podcasts, go back. Should have looked up the number, but it's been, all I got to do is Google Thunder Underground Brax, and you'll find it. Brax was on here. It's been at least 2 years ago now, probably 2.5.
Yeah, we went out to his place and we had a conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
This was back before he was in Fist of Rage, when he was in Enslaved by Fear. And, you know, he talked about Violent Victim then as well. So go back and check that one out if you haven't.
Yeah, and you know, Fist of Rage. We love Fist of Rage. Brax is in Fist of Rage. They're great.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't forget about them either.
Of course. And we've got, what'd they say, coming up here at the end of the month.
Yes.
You can check them out at Badass Renee.
Yeah.
And, of course, as you heard there, allude to it, there's going to be a couple more things announced as well. So
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
yeah. So definitely give Violent Victim a follow. And if this is your first time listening, because you're a fan of Violent Victim, you know, check out some previous stuff we've got. We've got a lot of bands from this area, regionally, locally. We've got a lot of national bands as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really like, if I can just, you know, go off for a minute. Don't get me wrong. If we have an opportunity to interview somebody from Typo Negative and Life of Agony, there's no way in fucking hell I'm going to say no. But I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoy getting back to Tulsa and the local scene, and it feels good. So, yeah, just support the 918, anything going on around here. And like Jimmy was talking about, there's a ton of great shit coming out of Oklahoma City too.
Yeah.
So dig into that as well.
Yeah, it's a good point, because, I mean, it's been a few months, I think.
Yeah.
Because we had that.
And
that
that's
hiatus.
okay, because this shit happens, and,
Yeah.
and that's just how it works. So yeah.
Well, we had that hiatus where we were off for like 4 or
Yes.
5 weeks, and then
yeah.
we had a lot of stuff backed up, and then had these other interviews come along. So yeah, it's cool to be
Definitely.
able to get back to doing this like we always want to do. So yeah, if you're a band listening, thethunderunderground@gmail.com. Send us your music or whatever you got going on. We'll check it out. But there's 237 previous episodes now you can check out. So get on there and do it. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. You can find us on iTunes, Google Music, Tuner, Stitchin', Mixcloud, all that great stuff as well. Fat on Guys from Megadeth, Kiss, Def Leppard. The list is huge and long. Black Dahlia Murder.
Yes. Yeah. Brax. We had
Brax mentioned them.
Trevor, who that guy was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, speaking of Kiss, we had Bruce Kulick, who is now in a bit of a tiff with his brother Bob.
That's right.
Google that and have some entertainment. Everybody, you're welcome.
Right.
So, yeah. You know, I always wonder on that shit. Bob is the one just running his mouth every goddamn where.
Yeah.
So you wonder, and yeah, you know, all that shit that he's saying, that shitty shit to have happened to you. But y'all also kind of wonder, you know, he's the one kind of just going off. It makes you wonder, what's on the other side here?
Right.
So, anyways, I don't know. Sorry to get off on a tangent.
Because Bruce always seems to like...
Yes, just the gentleman.
Yeah.
So,
you don't hear bad things about him outside of from his brother.
This, yeah, restraining order and all this crazy shit. So, and if you don't know what we're talking about, just Google it. It's kind of silly, but it's, you'll get a kick out of it.
Definitely. So, yeah. Check out the Bruce Kulick interview on here.
Yeah, that's right.
He doesn't talk about Bob, I don't think, on that. But
hey, fuck it. I'm on Team Bruce. He was on our show. Fuck it.
Right. But yeah, give us a follow on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're also on YouTube at The Thunder Underground. Subscribe there. We've always got videos coming up about reviews of singles or albums in their entirety, some previous concert reviews, that kind of stuff. So get on there, subscribe to that so you don't miss that. And TheThunderUnderground.com is pretty much where everything is. You can even listen to this podcast here.
That's right. That's right. This is, I guess, supposedly, like, you know, it's nice out. It's like 70 degrees. It's supposed to be shitty, cold, freezing the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So when we sign off, I'm going to sit on my patio and listen to metal and drink beer.
Hell yeah.
Because I don't know when I'm going to get to do it again.
Right. Hell yeah. You guys should do the same, but instead of listening to metal, you should listen to back episodes of the Thunder Underground podcast.
Right? Exactly.
All right. I guess that covers it. Once again, thanks to Brax and Jimmy for doing this, letting us debut the new Violent Victims song, Before Creation. Look for that everywhere on Friday. Give these guys a follow. And as always, a huge thanks to MedFarm and DEB Concerts. Until next time.
You guys use your discretion. We talk shit. I mean, you know, Dale's one of my fucking closest friends. You know the kind of shit we all talk.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know
anything that
yeah.
anybody might take offense to that probably shouldn't be there, feel free to delete.
That's
If
like-
I don't-
now
no,
he
no,
does all the
I
technical
honestly-
stuff. If it gets out, it's his fault.
Dude, and
I just show up and fucking ask.
I think we did a
Say it.
pretty good job today on.
I thought we did all right, Monitor. No, all right, not well, but all right. Monitor.
Yeah, I think we did all right, man.
Thunder Underground, y'all.